Good afternoon, ladies and gentlefolk. Have you ever heard the phrase, you are the author of your own story? Most people don't even realize that they are the authors of their own story. Every day we tell stories about ourselves. For example, some people's stories may be, I grew up poor. I grew up in a rough neighborhood. I went to terrible public schools, and that's why I can't get ahead in life. What a horrible story to tell yourself over and over and over and over for years. The $1,000,000 question is, why would somebody tell themselves a horror story about themselves over and over? I'm going to tell you why. Somewhere in your childhood, you adopted the victim's mentality. Somewhere along the line growing up, you picked up this negative narrative and you stayed with it. Here's the thing. Your story can have the same exact information, but be totally different. I grew up poor. I lived in a tough neighborhood. I went to struggling public schools that were known to not have the best teachers and the best resources. But in each situation that was thrown at me, I learned how to adapt, adjust, and overcome. And that is why I'm successful in life. That could be your story. I mean, think about it. How many times have you told yourself, I have the worst luck? Nothing ever goes my way. This always happens to me. I just can't get ahead. This kind of self-talk is why most people are where they are. Now let's shift gears for a minute. Just stick with me. When you see a successful person, maybe let's use a sports person before the big game. What do you think they're telling themselves? I can promise you they're not saying I suck. I'm the worst person ever. I don't belong to be here. What am I doing? I'm a fraud. I can promise you the great ones are not saying that to themselves. They are telling themselves, I belong here. I'm the greatest. This is what I came here for. I'm about to wreck shop. Okay, I'm the best. I'm a champion. I was born for this. This is mine. This is what I do. Let's get it. Now, as human beings, we love stories. Think about it. Before we can write down any letters, we had to be able to transfer some history. So we told stories around the campfires. And to this day, we still love stories. We love telling stories about our families, our friends, our special person. It's what we do as humans. And here's a secret. If you tell yourself a story over and over, even if it's not true, you will start to believe it. This is why the gurus and the beautiful books, the ancient books that we have, tell you to use affirmations because they know the power of repetition, the same power that you've been using to tell your sad story over and over that's not true, that you can change. That is the same power that you can use to tell yourself that you are great, that you are rich, that you are loved, that you're beautiful. And even if you don't believe any of those things right now, keep telling yourself that over and over and over, and eventually you will. Because believe it or not, that is why you believe what you believe about you, is because you kept telling yourself that same story over and over and over till you believed it to be a fact. But you can use that power to rewrite your story and tell yourself something new over and over and over and over until you believe it. This is when you have to tap into the power of I am. The power of awareness. Party people in the place to be. We are human. We are human beings. Not human was, not human will be, but human beings. Meaning that we are here in the now. We are in the I am. You have to use your I amness. This is why they tell you, all the gurus and all our beautiful ancient books tell you to watch what you put after I am, because that is what you are now. Not yesterday, not yesterday, not the future from now. Now, what you put behind I am, that is what you are now. You have to live in the now. Whatever you say and do now affects your future and affects your past. So why not use that I amness? Why not use the power of now? Why not use your awareness, the power of your awareness, to tell yourself, I am rich, I am loved. I grew up poor. I grew up in a tough neighborhood. I didn't have the best schooling. But what I do have is the power to adapt, adjust, and overcome. And I'm always constantly learning and growing. That's your story. That story should never end. Tap into your I am, the now. You are a human being. Be right here, right now. Don't overcomplicate it. It's simple. In other words, people, the self-talk that you are using to speak to yourself now will affect your future and your past. The past is not you. It is experience that you had. If you are constantly or casting yourself in a horror story, how in the hell are you supposed to get your happy ending? It does not work like that, party people in the place to be. Be in the now. Rewrite your story. I don't care what anybody tells you. Your friends may laugh at you, which is why you shouldn't tell them you're rewriting your story. You should rewrite your story. You are the editor, producer, director, and the star. Don't look for anyone's permission to rewrite your story. Rewrite your story on your own and watch how your life changes. It's simple. Don't overcomplicate things. You want different results, you have to do different stuff. And the funny things start to happen, party people in the place to be. You start to believe. And when you start to believe, you start taking action. And when you start taking action, you start to believe. And when you start to believe, you start taking action and everything changes. Everything. So I want y'all to affirm this today. I want y'all to affirm that you are your author of your story, you and you alone. And here and right now, I want you to declare that I'm going to rewrite my story and it's going to be the bestest. Not the best, but the bestest story yet. And remember, you got this. You was made for this. This is your turning point. Don't forget, believe, believe, believe. This is Rico Von Teamer signing out. Peace.